Conveyance, which is called in Arabic tabligh. Nubuwah or nubu'ah, we already said those words, prophethood, is either derived from naba, news, or nabwah, elevation. According to the first, which is naba, news, nabi is either a doer's adjective or a receiver's adjective. Yani, a description of a doer or a description of a receiver. A nabi is either someone who does something or someone who receives something concerning news. If he is a doer, it means the reporter of the news from Allah. That's what a nabi would be. He's a reporter of news. If he is a receiver, then it means the recipient of the news from the angel. This is why every Rasul is a Nabi. Every Rasul, messenger, is a Nabi, a prophet. All of them received revelation from Allah to follow a set of rules and to convey the rules to the people. Very many have mentioned an invalid definition and an ugly mistake, that a messenger prophet receives a new law with orders to convey it, and the prophet who is not a messenger receives a new law without orders to convey it. Footnote. Like in Jalalain, that's a tafsir, and Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, yani, one of the sheikhs told me, Sheikh Abdullah is annoyed with Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani for this mistake. Because it's like he's saying, someone like Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani should not fall into a mistake like this. He's too great of a scholar. And al-Faqihi, he's a grammarian, in the explanation of Mulha, and many, many others. Yani, it's a widespread mistake. The source of this mistake, yani, the source of it being widespread, I mean, how would you find this mistake in so many books that a prophet who's not a messenger receives a new law without orders to convey it? It is a result of scholars copying from each other. That's how it got spread so much. And actually, the way I learned it, it is the result of scholars copying from each other without verification. That's how I learned it. بِغَيْرِ تَحْقِيق. However, Allah sent the prophets to convey. So it would not be valid that a prophet does not convey. Yani, what does it mean to say he got a new law without orders to convey it? Then what's the point? Where's the benefit? And that's why Sheikh Samir, he would say when he explains this case, Allah knows what they understood from this. Because what's that supposed to mean? The truth is that a prophet who is not a messenger has orders to call the people to the law of the messenger before him. All of this is mentioned by Al-Qunawi in his explanation of Al-Tahawi. He said, بل أمره بأن يدعو الناس إلى دين الرسول الذي كان قبله. Rather, a non-messenger prophet is whom Allah commanded to call the people to the religion of the messenger before him. And religion here means the sacred law of that messenger. You say that sometimes. The religion of Jesus, the religion of Moses, and the meaning is the sacred law of Jesus or the sacred law of Moses. It is an obligation to believe that all prophets conveyed all of what Allah ordered them to convey. And they did not fall short in this matter. Allah says, وَمَا هُوَ عَلَى الْغَيْبِ بِضَنِينَ. And Muhammad is not, concerning the revelation about the unseen, a miser. Muhammad is not, concerning the revelation of the unseen, about the unseen, a miser. He is not a miser concerning the revelation. That means he gives it all. All of what he was commanded to convey, he conveys it. They did not hide anything that Allah ordered them to convey. And they do not even experience a slip of the tongue in worldly or religious matters. Had that been possible, the slip of the tongue for a prophet, the blasphemers would discredit the sayings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and say, how do we know that this was not a slip of the tongue? And how do we know that that was not a slip of the tongue? What proves that all prophets and messengers conveyed is the saying of Allah, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن قَبْلِكَ مِن رَّسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ. We have not sent before you, Muhammad, any messenger or prophet, except that when he delivered his message, the devil interjected what would be construed as part of the message. Yani, would be thought to be part of the message. Footnote. The reason for the revelation of this verse is that once the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was reciting from Surah An-Najm to the people, when he reached this saying of Allah, أَفَرَأَيْتُمُ اللَّاتَ وَالْعُزَّى وَمَنَاةَ الثَّالِثَةَ الْأُخْرَى. Have you seen the idols, Allat and Al-Uzza, and the third one, Manah? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam paused briefly, and within that moment, the devil took advantage. He took advantage of the Prophet's pause, and he added words that deluded some to think that the Prophet said those words. Yani, he said some words that were audible to some of the people, and they thought that that was the Prophet's words, alayhi salatu wassalam. He added these words, تِلْكَ الْغَرَانِيقُ الْعُلَى وَإِنَّ شَفَاعَتَهُنَّ لَتُرْتَجَى. Those idols are the high flamingos, and surely their intercession is hoped for. That's what I found for gharaniq, flamingos. Yani, the meaning here is that he praised the idols. These words of the devil are to praise those idols. The blasphemers thought that the Prophet praised their idols, and thus they prostrated with the Muslims, saying, we never heard Muhammad praise our idols before. It is not permissible to believe that the devil speaks with the Prophet's tongues, the tongues of the prophets, or that he has any control over them whatsoever. Had he been able to run anything over the tongues of the prophets, this would remove the credibility of the religious law. This is why Al-Razi said, whoever says that the devil made speech run on the Prophet's tongue is a blasphemer. Some have misunderstood that aforementioned verse and believed that the devil runs words over the Prophet's tongue. Yani, this ayah. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن قَبْلِكَ مِن رَّسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ. This part, أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ. Some of them thought this means the devil made words run over the tongue of a prophet while he was delivering. That's blasphemy.
To run over, like to make him say something
yes.
He didn't need to say?
Yani, to speak with his tongue. It means to speak with the tongue of the Prophet, like a possessed person. Similarly, the devil, even the associate jinn, is unable to enter the body of a prophet, and whoever believes in that blasphemes. The devil only whispers to the prophets from the outside. That answers the question for some people. What did Allah say about Adam? He whispered to Adam and his wife, and he is unable to have any control over them. Likewise, he has no control over the saints. As proven by what Allah said, إِنَّ عِبَادِي لَيْسَ لَكَ عَلَيْهِمْ سُلْطَانٌ ليس لك عليهم سلطان إلا من اتبعك من الغاوين. Certainly, my slaves, that means the saints, you have no dominion over them. That means you have no control over them. O devil, except those misguided people who follow you, Yani. Rather, you are able to influence those misguided people who follow you. Let me say it that way. You are only able to influence those misguided people who follow you. وَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ وَبِحَمْدِهِ